Hello and welcome to another deck review. So, I've been sent some mystery decks. And like all good mystery decks, I've no idea what to expect. I mean, I've literally not even checked the list of possibilities. We could get rare decks, we could get rubbish decks, we could get somewhere in the middle decks. Without further ado, let's crack this package open and find out. In fact, just before I open this package, I want to say a massive thank you to the Card In for sending this over for review. And while I did get this for free, this is not a sponsored video. If I hate the cards inside, I will genuinely say so. I never do sponsored reviews. I don't see the point. So yeah, thank you to the Card In. They do a load of great stuff. If you don't know them, they're my go-to playing card shop. They've also got a deck launching on Kickstarter very, very soon, but more on that in a future video. Enough of the chit chat. Let's crack this package open and see what I get. Oh, wow. If you ever needed another reason why the Card In are considered world-class in terms of the packaging and the unboxing experience of playing cards, this says it all. This is like a custom box outside of a box, beautiful design, and it's got a gorgeous like wax seal, a Taskmaster wax seal as I call them. This is not something that you want to throw away, this is something that you want to keep, but I am going to have to break into that wax seal in order to get to the actual mystery deck. So we've got 3 in the box. Let's see what the first one is. Ooh, Jetsetter playing cards. Jetsetter playing cards. It's like an airline themed deck by the looks of it. Little bit more luxury than the Peach Air playing cards that some of you might remember from a previous video. These, it's like a sort of textured box. It's like not embossed, but yeah, just sort of different textures across the box there. Very shiny, very silver, very grey as well. It's very sort of monotone, but it doesn't feel boring. Yeah, this feels like a sort of first class lounge experience, I think is what it's trying to go for. Numbered seal, always appreciate that. I am going to have to ruin it to get into the deck though. Luckily it is one of those sort of perforated seals, so it comes apart quite nicely. Okay, immediately I love the Joker. A boarding pass Joker, that's genius. In this deck, that is perfect. You do just get one. That is the Ace of Spades right there. Just before I move on from this Joker, I'm gonna scan the QR code that comes up. It is a notes app, and it says Logan. That's interesting. This is the Ace of Spades that I showed you a second ago. Yeah, it's good, it's simple. You've got that plain icon in the middle of the spade that is repeated as the back design as well. Standard faces, which is exactly what you expect, just recolored into that gray to make it all feel cohesive. And as I'm looking at the faces of the card, you can actually make out a slight sort of imprint almost of that back design, of the foil that you see here and of the little spade in gold foil. You can actually see that through the faces, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I guess it's kind of unavoidable in the printing process to have that sort of bleed through a little bit, so I don't hate it, I just wish it wasn't there. Oh, and you do actually get another one of those Jokers. The Jokers are actually at the start and end of the deck, so you get another boarding pass. Lovely little detail is that they're actually return flights, so that is why one's at the start and one's at the end. Beautiful. Oh, I love little subtleties like that. So they're actually reversed the order of the places. That's really clever. So yeah, I'm gonna give this a solid 9 out of 10. I really like the Jetsetter playing cards. Next up is another Red Seal mystery deck. Let's see what we get. Oh, okay. Interesting. Pink Remedies. Signed. Honestly, I didn't even know that signed decks were an option in mystery deck hauls, but that is one hell of a pull. Okay, let's open these. I didn't honestly even realize that they did Pink Remedies. That's very, very interesting. Of course, Madison and Pink, it's a match made in heaven. Wow, okay. I've reviewed the Remedies a couple of times, so I'm not going to dwell too long on this, but there are a couple of changes which I find very interesting. The first one being that big old pink spade on the Ace of Spades. That is very in your face, very aggressive. This is a bright shade of pink. For instance, when you compare this deck to this deck, which is the Pink Madison Advocates, you really start to notice the difference. Not all pinks are created equal, and this is a hot pink. Back to the cards, you get another Ace of Spades. This one is an Angle Z gimmick. Would have absolutely loved it to be a different card. We've already had the Ace of Spades in a Remedies deck A little bit of variation would be nice. This feels lazy to me. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna be brutal. But what doesn't feel lazy is the court cards are recolored to match that pink, and the red cards are also pink as well. That's really good to see changes being implemented onto the faces. 2 King of Diamonds representing the 2 creators of the deck, which does mean that they're not identical King of Diamonds, so they're not exactly duplicates, but they've got nice card reveals which really add so much magic value. So yeah, big fan of them. Overall, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I think there's only so many colorways of the exact same design you can do before it just feels lazy. Like, what is this adding to what is already on the market? That's the question you've got to ask. And personally, I just don't see the value compared to the other ones. I think it is subpar, but if this just came out, if the other remedies didn't exist, if this was just released on its own, the first remedies, and it was pink, I think I'd be saying a different thing. I think I'd really like it, but I have to give it a 7 just to be honest. But it is signed, which is always a nice thing, so this will be a worthy addition to my collection. Moving on, we've got one last deck, and it's a gold seal. Before I crack into it, one last look at this absolutely magnificent mystery deck wrapping. This is, I mean, Cardin, you've absolutely mullered the competition in terms of mystery decks. That is incredible. Such a step up from like the tissue paper. I absolutely love this. So let's crack it open and see what my task is. I'm sorry, I keep thinking of Taskmaster. Every time I see these seals, it's just Taskmaster for me. Oh, what is this? I don't think I know this one. I have no idea what these are at all. This is why we love mystery decks. It introduces us to things that we didn't even know existed on the market. These are by the Dark Side Playing Card Company, apparently. I'm trying to find the name. I honestly can't even tell what this says. Can you tell what that says? Is it dead? The dead playing cards? Unless it's like an ambigram. Load? Is it the dead load? If it is, that's very clever. Normally, the mystery of mystery decks is over when you open them, but I still am in the dark side. Literally. Okay, let's crack it open. I'm intrigued. Although it looks black, there is so much texture going on this box. Obviously, you've got the sort of blue accents and the embossing and that sort of foil, but even in the darkness, there's so much like intricate detail, which I really like. The seal is nice as well, sort of purple seal. That is such a different vibe to my usual deck of cards. So much going on, so gothic, so dark, so many little intricate coils. If anything, maybe a bit too much detail. I would like those sort of things in the middle to stand out more. The border isn't just a straight line either, it's actually part of the intricacy, which I always really like. It just gives the deck a new feel. It doesn't make it feel so boxy. It's just given the freedom to do whatever it wants. Love that. The jokers are these sort of scary jester characters. That's interesting. And the Ace of Spades is like the devil taking a mask off, which is, again, a weird choice. I tell you what I like about this deck. I like the smaller, slightly unusual layout of the pips on the number card. Court cards, again, are very unusual, very sort of alarming when you first see them. It's like, whoa, that is one hell of a bold design to go with these sort of almost cartoony figures. Not 100% sure it works, again, but it's trying something new. I'm never going to discourage any playing card designer from trying something new. That is something that needs to be applauded, because if everyone played it safe, then every deck of cards would look the same, and that would be very boring. So I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10 from me. Not personally my style of deck, but I can totally see this being someone's piece of cake, you know, something that they perform with all the time. If they're a sort of emo gothic performer, yeah, this 100% works. So there we have it, those were the mystery decks. What a lineup, what an interesting selection. If you want to check out the Cardin, I've left a link down in the description. Go and check out their mystery decks or their non-mystery decks, their normal decks, and they've got a deck of their own coming very soon. More on that in a future video. But yeah, if you enjoyed this one, make sure to hit the thumbs up button down below, that is always appreciated. Subscribe to the channel if you like anything to do with magic or playing cards. This is the channel for you, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care.